That day, Andy was delivering. Seeing their chance, they broke in, starving at midnight. But instead of getting angry, Andy found their story rather amusing and offered them a place to stay until the rain stopped. Next day, grateful, Sue cooked breakfast, bid Andy farewell, but found her change couldn't even buy a breakfast. Sue starved daily, begged her family for help, but got mockery instead. Talk about out of the frying pan and into the fire. Not to mention dodging the cops. As night fell, they had no choice but to return to Andy's house. Andy didn't mind their return, and Sue skipped formalities, promising to work hard to pay him back. Is that all you can say? Little did Andy foresee her kindness today becoming a deadly weapon. This kindness would haunt her. Sue had no skills, so she worked at a foot massage parlor where the boss grinned like a proud fox. It was fine before, but now with her kid, her heart feels heavy. The boss lady's words were sharper than a knife, but Sue bit her lip to endure it. Thankfully, the boss lady decided to keep her around, and Sue worked hard at the massage parlor and helped with chores at home. Efficient teamwork spirit. Their bond was uncomplicated, looking more like a classic romance than anything else. Despite their mutual disappointment, they couldn't resist dropping in, especially since today was his birthday and Andy just wanted to sneak a peek. But the daughter-in-law's japs felt like daggers, turning his family reunion dreams into real party foul. Just as Andy packed to slip away, his granddaughter mentioned Auntie's wedding tomorrow, and Andy's heart nosedived. Happy for her daughter getting married, but sad she wasn't invited. It was a real two sides of the same coin moment. Even with a fancy mansion, his son never bothered to check in on him. When Andy confronted him, the whole vibe turned painfully awkward. Heartbroken, Andy returned home, gazing at the family photo, overwhelmed by nostalgia. Loneliness his constant companion. With no one else to turn to, Andy poured his heart out to Sue, blaming himself for not being a better dad and casting a shadow over his children's lives. Luckily, Sue got it and urged him to attend the wedding, saying, "You deserve a shot at happiness too." Feeling motivated, Andy donned his sharpest outfit. It's going to be a trending moment for sure. He quietly slipped into the wedding. Seeing his daughter so happy, Andy couldn't help but feel a little giddy. He wanted to congratulate her, but instead she hurled insults. Like, seriously, can a dad even get a break? When Andy returned home, heartbroken, Sue offered timely comfort. A friend's support always warms the soul, even without family back. Andy considered Sue and her kid family and went all out for little Kang's birthday with a cake. It was a small but sweet celebration. They happily blew out the candles and made wishes. Sue and little Kang's presence filled the void in Andy's heart. However, that day, as Andy returned home with the day after a delivery, he found the place in shambles. They had a fire last night, and while they lost some furniture, all things considered, it could have been worse. Little Kang suddenly pulled out an album, everything else waterlogged, yet miraculously, it remained undamaged. "This album must mean a lot to you. What a beautiful little surprise." Andy deeply appreciated Sue treating her as a good friend. That day, Adele unexpectedly brought a washing machine as a gift. So Andy invited Adele over for dinner to show his thanks. If only time could freeze right here. But tonight, the group's tension was palpable, even if each of them purposely avoided discussing their burdens. Andy's feelings for Adele warmed, seeking more contact, while Sue wanted to hide her current job. Adele had seen her at the massage parlor, so she hastily made excuses. She claimed to be a driver who often got shoulder pain, which was a wild cover-up for what she was truly dealing with. Little did Andy know he continued delivering with Adele, occasionally hitting the jackpot on big orders. But when they got to the motel, only one room was available. Though all men, it was still awkward. But they didn't sweat it, and naturally ended up sharing the bed. But Andy was tossing and turning, trying to reach out, only to realize Adele had rolled over. She blamed it on the heat and decided the floor was more comfortable. Such a quirky move. And his mood plummeted. To spare Andy any more feelings, Adele carefully explained he just couldn't get used to the motel soft mattress, so he rolled right off Eubs. Ladies always sense more, so Andy perked up. After delivering, the tension between the guys escalated. We made a bunch of money, so they called up Sue and her kid for a little fun. Andy bought another lottery ticket, using his wife and child's birthdays for luck, fingers crossed. Little Kang stared at a phone on the shelf, and Andy just took the plunge and bought it. Reality hits hard. The four went to a furniture store to replace Andy's burnt old items. Turns out they were royally priced. They lounged on couches, dreaming about the future. Every pic could lead to a whole new world. Even the waitress wanted to snap a pic of this happy moment. Andy was feeling all the feels. If only moments of happiness could last longer. Andy couldn't help but think. No one knows which comes first, tomorrow or surprise. On a rainy night, near the door, disaster struck. Sue suddenly slipped and fell, and as Andy rushed to help, he ended up slipping too. But they burst into laughter instead of feeling heavy. Such is life, sometimes humorous, sometimes helpless. CDA, subscribe to my channel.